Yo, today I'm going to be breaking down this soul sample I made back in October or November of last year. I'm going to play it out and then show you guys how I made it. I first started off with these Rhodes chords from a contact Rhodes bank I got, which sound like this. I got this Rhodes from pianobook.com. It was free. On the processing, I have an auto pan, a flanger, supermassive with the space verb 1999 preset, Echo Boy with the choral warbler preset, 2 EQs, and 2 sound shifters, one shifting it up an octave and one shifting it back down to give it that texture. And also I added a auto pan, flanger, and Echo Boy to make it sound like a genuine Rhodes instead of a fake Rhodes. So I love doing that when I add stuff like whirlies and Rhodes. So after I got those chords, I got this whirly. It was a clavinet from one of the Ain't Sounds analog lab banks, which sounds like this. So the processing on this is an Abbey Roads King's microphone with the first preset on the King George, the 5th preset mic, sound godizer, auto pan, a sound shifter shifting up an octave, an Echo Boy with the empty tanker preset, a EQ, chorus, and another EQ. So after we got these two elements, they sound like this. So I knew when I first started this sample I wanted to make a soul sample, so I went into this knowing exactly what type of vibe I wanted to make. So after I got these chords down with the clavinet and the Rhodes, it was just about adding different accents and different layers around these chords. So next I did percussion from Addictive Drums. I just rendered this out to audio. It was originally this. Just some cymbals and hits and rides. And then that sounds like this recorded out. And the processing on that is just an EQ. And then after we have that, I added some horns. So I got these from Ain't Sounds and they sound like this. And then the processing on that is just a fruity reverb because all the Ain't Sounds sound really good straight out of the kit. So I highly recommend, if you want to make soul samples, to get Ain't Sounds kits. After that and having all of these layers, I added the bass, which sounds like this. Scarby Rickenbacker. And then the processing on that was a Chow tape model with the TC260 preset. Makes it sound more vintage and compressed. And then an Echo Boy with the Slap Echo Wide preset from the bass section. I love also to add that to basses to make it more wide sounding and have a little distortion. I love using Echo Boy and basses with those bass presets in that section. So after we have all that, I added some ambience. Just some EQ on that, just to add more depth to the sample. Next, I added some more just individual whirly notes, which sound like this. And then just an EQ on that for processing, and then panning it to the left, also putting in mono. for the later sections of the arrangement, I added a single F note from the BBC Symphony Orchestra, and it was the violin 1 preset. Also with the curve expressions drawn out, I love to do this for my strings so they sound like they're actually being played and they're not as artificial sounding. So I drew the velocity so it has peaks and valleys, and then that just sounds like this. Very simple. And then for the processing on that, just a chow tape model for some compression with the same TC260 preset to make it sound more vintage and compressed. And then finally we get to the vocals. So I'll play everything without the vocals, which sounds like this. Okay, so after we have all of those layers down, I wanted to add some vocals, so I layered some Ain Sounds vocals with my own vocals. So I'll play the Ain Sounds vocals first. I'll solo them real quick. And the processing for these was 2 sound shifters, raising it up an octave and back down the octave so it gives it texture, an OTT compressor to give it that compressed vintage feel, and also it brings out more character in like the highs with the OTT, and then an EQ doing nothing. So for the bottom layer, which is a chorus, I pan that to the left, I pan the other one, the higher ones, to the right. But for these, I did another 2 sound shifters, pitching it up an octave and back down, an OTT compressor, a reverb, and a Valhalla Supermassive with the small plus Y preset to give it that room reverb. And I'm pretty sure that was it for the processing for these vocals. Then once we had these, I recorded my own vocals to add a third layer to the vocals I already had. So this is what my own vocal sounds like. I tried my hardest to sound like a soul singer, and tried my hardest to get that vibrato at the end. I recorded that through a voice memo, and the processing for that was just some EQs and a fruity compressor. So that's pretty much the entire sample. I'll see you guys in the next breakdown.